Video games. Expensive. About to be much more expensive. Stop overpaying for Nintendo games. We can be smarter about this, people. Now, the majority of what we're going to talk about is already in place on the Switch 1, but due to backwards compatibility and the new upgrade program, this can also help you save money on Nintendo Switch 2 games. Not all of them, but a lot of the big ones. Now, the boring thing, used game stores, eBay, secondhand market, those games will be cheaper. They will work on your Switch and your Switch 2. Worth to keep in mind, but nobody wants to hear about that. This is why you're here. And before I know, why would I, but you said cheaper is $100. We got to do some math here, folks, okay? Now, what this is 2 coupons that you can only buy if you're currently sub to NSO, which is, I think, $3.99 a month. You get these, and then you can use them to redeem any 2 eligible games. So in the case of Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom, that's a $60 game and a $70 game, if you want the digital copy, that you'd be able to get for just $100. But what if I told you there's a way to get them even cheaper than this? Now, what you're gonna wanna do is follow Wario64 on Blue Sky. This account is on Twitter still. I think it's even on Threads, but genuinely, I hate Twitter now. I hate it. Anyway, you're going to want to follow Wario64 on Blue Sky. The account posts deals for games all the time and frequently will post discounted Nintendo eShop credit. I think the cheapest I have seen eShop credit, the $50 one here, is $44 with like checkout and fees and stuff. It's probably like $89. Basically, you're spending $90. You're spending $90 to get 2 eShop cards that will redeem on the eShop for $100, which you can then use on the game vouchers and then redeem them on a variety of eligible Nintendo Switch games. Now, see, there's some smart ways to use the vouchers and there's some frankly dumb ways. Like you could get Fitness Boxing 3, your personal trainer, and go vacation and really not save any money. That's still $100. So like if you go the Wario route, you're saving $10. To me, if you don't own them yet, you get Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom, because Tears of the Kingdom is the most expensive Nintendo Switch game so far. Now we're gonna do some math here. We're gonna do $69.99. That's Tears of the Kingdom plus $59.99. What is that? $129.98. Now if we spent, let's say, $89 on eShop credit through Wario64, that's $40. You're getting a $40 discount versus if you just pay full price for these games. And this is a thing you can do regularly. Even if you just did the vouchers, that's $129.98, I think, minus $100. I could have done that in my head, but I need to show you. And I know, you might be saying, it's only $30. But in this economy, you're really going to turn up your nose at 30 extra bucks in your pocket? So that's great. You got 2 Zelda games on your Nintendo Switch, but you have a Switch 2. Now you want the Switch 2 upgrades. Now, unfortunately, Nintendo has confirmed that the vouchers are not going to work on Switch 2 games. So like the vouchers you cannot use on Donkey Kong, Bonanza, I'm assuming Kirby Air Riders, if that's only next gen, but games that are getting Switch 1 versions, I would expect you to be able to get Metroid Prime 4, Pokemon Legends ZA, because I've used my vouchers that I've gotten over the years. I've gotten several sets of them. I've used them on Pokemon. I used one on a Zelda game. I used one on Tears of the Kingdom. Like it's a program that I think more people, should they be able to spend $100 instead of $60, take advantage of, especially if they know they want to expand their library beyond a single game in a year's time span. So if you manage to get a discount on Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom, then you can just upgrade them for $10 a piece to get the Switch 2 features, and you're still saving some money as opposed to getting $70 for the Switch 2 edition all in one. Well, not really all in one because there's no DLC. Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom for $80. So you're still saving money. And again, I know nobody wants to hear it, but if you do this, like $36 for Tears of the Kingdom, pop that in your Switch 2 with a $10 upgrade, that's $46 for the Switch 2 4K Tears of the Kingdom. And the other thing that you should absolutely be doing if you are not already to save money on Nintendo games, especially if you care about older Nintendo games, is with Nintendo Switch Online. It's a cheap service. Like, all things considered, I'm pretty sure like PlayStation also just increased their prices for PS Plus again internationally. So $20 a year for NSO, that gives you online play, NES, Super Nintendo, Game Boy, access to Nintendo Spotify, cloud saves. But nobody is like, that's existed. That's old news. Expansion pack is what you really should care about if you like older stuff, because it has all the stuff that base game has. And then you get N64, GBA, soon to be GameCube, the entire Mario Kart 8 DLC, the Animal Crossing DLC, Splatoon 2 DLC, Sega Genesis games. And speaking of upgrades, specifically, they've only said this for 2 of them so far. If you already own Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom, you get the upgrade pack free to get the 4K Switch 2 version. I'm assuming so long as you stay subbed to NSO. But $50, again, $50, a lot of money. This economy, if you listen and you use the vouchers for those other games, you have 30 of it already saved. But the appeal of NSO, the thing we want to talk about with NSO, of why people are misusing NSO, is this little button over here you see next to individual. It says family. $80 a year. Gotta break the calculator back out. Now, this is going to get charged to somebody's card who is ever in charge of this family plan. But if we go over here, you can have a max of 8 accounts tied to a family plan for NSO. And nothing is different. You still have N64, you're going to get GameCube, you get all these DLCs, everybody can access them. Let's do $79.99 divided by 8 people. $10 for a year of NSO, a growing library of retro games, GameCube games soon to be. I do not know why more people do not do this, because the thing with the family plan is I'm not subscribed to it. Well, I am subscribed to it with my brother, but I'm also subscribed to it with like friends from all over the United States. Like you can just like squad up with 8 people, all Venmo one person, put the subscription on their card once a year. Everybody just gives them $10, and then you all have access to this. So like when people say Nintendo Switch Online, not a good value, or it's not as good as PlayStation Plus, like, maybe for $50 as an individual, but I'm paying $10 a year, and I'm about to get a bunch of GameCube ROMs on my expensive Switch 2. I spent $10 this morning on a bagel and a smoothie. Anyway, the Switch 2, I'm quite excited for it. Be smarter about how you spend your money with Nintendo, because games are just going up. And like I said, these vouchers, these saving like ability discount things are not going to apply as of right now to Switch 2 games. There's no plan in place for them to have Switch 2 vouchers. Now, I would not be surprised if they introduce a higher tier specific Switch 2 vouchers, because at least when I talk to people that I know, these vouchers are very popular. And I'm sure Nintendo would rather me give them $100 today than just $60. So yeah, unfortunately, I don't have a way to like make Mario Kart World not $80, because it's not $90. We're this deep into the video, it is not $90. If you saw 90 somewhere, that's wrong. A bunch of people who cannot read confused a European currency for a US dollar. It's $80. It is $79.99 digital, physical, any way you slice it, unless you buy the bundle, which again, you need the Switch 2 to play Mario Kart World. And the difference between the base one and then the bundle's $50. So if you want to spend $50 on the game instead of $80, buy the bundle, because it has the game and the system you need to play the game. So like, I don't know. Be smart. These programs exist. Use them.